All right, what's up, guys? Alex here, and yeah, I help Asian men who are, doing well in their life, well-qualified guys, well-rounded, doing well financially, got good friends, got hobbies, keeping in decent shape, to fill in that last missing piece of their life, which is their dating, their relationships, finding that long-term relationship or even marriage partner. And this online dating success formula is going to tie directly into that. This is going to illustrate to you exactly why you're not having the dating success that you want. Okay, so let's crack into it. It's pretty straightforward. So the equation is value times skills times beliefs times volume equals dating success. Okay, a couple things to note here. This is multiplication. Okay, so as you increase in any of these areas, the results you get actually become multiplicative. It's not just additional, it's like literally exponential. All right, so let's break this down real quick, what each of these means. So what is value? Value is like, where you're at as a guy in terms of things like career, in terms of things like your fashion / grooming, your physique, your physical kind of appearance, things like your lifestyle or hobbies, just how much stuff do you got going on for you in your life that makes you a man that's worth being around for a woman, that makes you somebody that a woman would want to join her life with. Okay, and you don't have to be perfect in this category. I mean, you should aim to get as high as you can in this category, but by no means do you need to be perfect. There's the women out there are not perfect either. Everyone's kind of on their paths growing together, but you can't be a bum. Okay, you can't be living in your mom's basement, you can't be working at McDonald's, that's for sure. Okay, so, and basically, the guys that I help are usually guys who have got these areas pretty down. They spent time working on this. They've spent a good part of their life, committed to these different areas of their life, and they're pretty well rounded. Okay. Now, what they get confused about is like, hey, look, I got all these areas pretty down. Why am I not having the dating success? Well, here's why. Because there's all these other variables that are at play here that you haven't accounted for. Okay. So, what is skills? Skills is things like, like flirting, escalation, leading, setting the frame with a woman, right? Like all these things like that tie into like moving the relationship forward in the right way, not getting in the friend zone, not letting a woman just step all over you. These things are developable skills, just like riding a bike or like learning to play guitar, okay? But most guys just don't know that these are things that they can work on and that they need to work on, okay? Then comes beliefs. Beliefs are like inner things, like whether you feel worthy, whether you feel deserving, whether you feel good enough, whether you are comfortable with like physical touch. Some guys just aren't comfortable with that, right? Physical escalation. Some guys have, bad beliefs when it comes to like sex, believing that it's a bad thing or that women wouldn't want to have it with them. So all these things are going to block you, right, in terms of moving things forward with a woman. So even if you have these two things going for you, if your beliefs are really shitty, it's going to prevent you from having that success. And then lastly, there's a big one that basically all guys have problems with, is just volume of opportunities. They literally just can't meet enough women. Even the most coolest, attractive guys, some that I've met in my life, they have all this on point and they're super charming and they're cool and they're just cool guys, that women would love to be with, but they meet like one woman every 2-3 months, every 6 months or whatever. They just don't have enough volume of exposure to have the dating success they want, right? They can't have enough options. They can't have enough options to choose from. It's like you could be the best job candidate in the world, but if you can only get one job offer, you're not going to be able to get your dream job. You need to be able to get like 5-10 job offers, then you can choose your dream job. So nobody really cares how good of a candidate you are unless you can get out there enough, apply for enough jobs to get a bunch of job offers, and that's really just purely the numbers game here. Okay, so let's break down like some example numbers here. Like for example, how this works, right? Let's just say we have a hypothetical guy who's like a 10 out of 10, like has tons of money, friends, connections, is, you know, physically fit, cool lifestyle, hobbies. Okay, cool. But like, you know, his skills with women are 0 and his beliefs are 0 and his volume is 0. He's going to have 0 dating success. Okay. He's basically somehow a hermit who is really good at this stuff, but has had 0 experience with women. No bueno. That's kind of extreme. That doesn't really happen. But, you know, most guys that I work with are somewhere, you know, decent in the value list. Let's just say like a 7, right? Pretty good. Skills with women, though, you know, a lot of them are pretty low, right? So maybe 2, who knows, right? Maybe you're like a 5, but chances are if you're watching this video, you're probably not a Casanova. And, you know, beliefs like maybe just because they haven't had that much experience, they feel like they're not really that worthy of women, right? Or women haven't really treated them that well in their life. They've been friend zoned a lot. And volume is probably pretty damn low, you know, just not going on a date every 6 months or something like that. So, you know, 2. So if we do some math here real quick, I mean, 2 times 4 times 2 is 8, 16, 16 times 7 is 112, okay? Which, by the way, if you multiply all these things, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, that equals 10,000, by the way. 10,000, okay? So now you see how it's like an exponential scale where, you know, 112 out of 10,000 is like pretty bad, pretty darn bad. That's like nothing, okay? But let's say this same guy, right, is a 7 in terms of value. He gets some help and he starts improving these things, right? So his skills become like a 6. You know, he's pretty good with women now. He's gone on a bunch of dates. He's gained those skills. He's believing in himself a lot more now. He thinks he's like a really cool guy. He believes he's worthy. He believes that, you know, women want to be with him and want to have sex with him and want to be in a relationship with him. So, you know, his beliefs are, his confidence has gone up a lot. And his volume, you know, he sets up his dating profile the right way. So now he's just getting tons and tons of matches. You know, he has a bunch of volume. Okay, so now we have 7 times 6 times 8 times 8, which is 42 times 64, which is 2,688, which is still pretty far off from 10,000, but by golly, it's a lot better than 112. And this guy is actually going to be having some semblance of dating success because he's going on a lot of dates, you know, a lot of volume. He has some pretty good skills in terms of moving things forward, and he has some pretty healthy beliefs about himself. And the women see like that this guy brings value to her life. This guy's going to be, you know, having some pretty good options, okay? And honestly, you know, this is like a pretty good place to be. You know, you want to, of course, get your value up. If you can get yourself to like an 8 here, an 8 here, 8 and 8, I mean, this is pretty elite, I would say. And then, so let's see, 64 times 64, that's 4,096. Okay, which is still not 10,000, but I mean 10,000 is like Leo DiCaprio. I mean nobody's really close to, or like an NBA star or Tom Brady or something, right? For a normal guy, this is like very good. Okay, so you know if you can go from like here to even just like here, that's fantastic. Okay, but most guys are, you know, like let's just say at value, let's just say they're a cool guy to begin with, but their value is, well, this is most guys, okay? This is most guys. And then there's like really, really guys who have nothing going on for their lives where they're just like a 2 here and then here. That's just really bad, okay? But even these results, 112 is like super, super bad. I mean, this is like going on 1 date every couple months with girls who are like, you're very not that excited about, okay? So let's also look at this in terms of a scale, right? We said this is like an exponential scale. This isn't even really accurate because 10 to 100, this kind of looks accurate, but 100 to 10,000 should be like way, way bigger than this, right? But I mean, you know, real quick, just to kind of show how big the difference is, honestly, I think I need to make this more accurate because this is like giant. This should be like, you know, up here. And let's get rid of this and this, right? Let's just say this is 10,000, okay? So now if we zoom out a bit, like a guy who's at 112 is like right here, right? Barely getting no results in life. Most guys are kind of down here, to be honest. in terms of online dating. And then, you know, if you got pretty good, 2,000 something, 3,000, you're probably like somewhere here in the middle, right? 2,000, 2K to 3K. You know, this is pretty good, right? Honestly, this is like, you know, this is where you're gonna start getting results. This is where you're gonna start getting like elite results, okay? Between 3,000, 4,000 up here to 1 to 10,000, okay? Now, the other thing to keep in mind is the distribution here is very, very unfair, okay? The majority of guys are gonna be down here, somewhere in this range right here, right up, down here, up here, okay? And there's gonna be very, very few guys that are kind of in this upper tier range down here. Most guys are just like down here, getting next to nothing. And then most women are gonna be matching with the guys in this range up here, okay? And you're gonna be getting a lot of matches when you're down here. You're gonna be getting very little down here and very poor quality, okay? So, you know, if you're a guy, Asian guy, and you're looking at this formula, what's really helpful is to just be like, which of these am I missing? You know, in terms of value, where do I kind of think I am? Which of these is missing? And what do I need to fill in? And what I do specifically is help guys who got this value part pretty freaking down, you know, maybe help them a little bit with like fashion or some stuff like that. But, you know, help them really implement the skills they need, the flirting, the escalation, the leadership, right? Help them implement these skills, help them implement the right belief systems they need to succeed with women, and then also get their profile on point so they have a ton of volume and go on a bunch of dates and develop all these parts, right? Which all go hand in hand, by the way, you know. It's really hard to develop skills with women without also having the right beliefs. And if once you get the right beliefs, you also start getting the skills. And if your chances are, if you're missing one of these three, you're probably missing all three of these three. So what I help guys is help them fill in these three missing gaps so that boom, ultimately they can have dating success. They can get to somewhere up in this range where they get a bunch of opportunities with women and they know how to capitalize on these opportunities, escape this terrible part down here of mediocrity, and then ultimately find their dream woman that they can be with for the long term and be really happy with, and not look in the mirror, you know, 60 years from now and feel this pang of regret knowing that, you know, you married a woman who you weren't that excited about and even made kids together. But that you can really be like, damn, like this is the person that I actually want to spend my life with. So if that sounds like you, if you want to fill in these missing blanks and really get that fulfilling long-term relationship, book in a call below. We can talk one-on-one to see how we can make that happen specifically for your case. And yeah, that wraps up the online dating success formula. Hope you enjoyed, and catch you in the next video.